I think the fact that the project happened is actually a major achievement. So obviously the project started in 2020, it had an earlier phase, but this delivery phase started in 2020, and then obviously, as everybody knows, 3 months later we had to stop. So it was really bad timing.
There were one or two community groups who really took that challenge very innovatively. So the Jewellery Quarter Research Trust, they were going to take people on physical walks. They couldn't do that. So instead, they looked at producing online resources, which they hadn't done before, and they were brilliant.
George Dawson. Buried here in Section O of Key Hill Cemetery was a nonconformist preacher, lecturer and political activist.
So I've never made a video before at all, so it's quite a steep learning curve. We're nowhere near experts, let me put it this way, but because we've already managed to do these films, it's made us want to do more of them, because it is an extra element. It means that we can reach further audiences than we could have done if we were just doing the physical tours alone.
Even with the rule of 6 hand applied, there would have been a smaller audience that we could have reached. But by putting them online, then these videos were viewed over 4,000 times, and you can't get 4,000 people on a physical tour.
With the videos, you can use them as a resource over and over again. So they're really powerful in that way, that we can kind of get our research out to a wider audience and for a longer period of time.
BCAT, who built their project around kind of growing Shakespeare, kind of matching kind of materials from the Shakespeare collection with the experience of kind of only having access to green spaces under lockdown and mental health. They were meant to do a giant family day at the Library of Birmingham. That couldn't happen. So instead, they spent a lot of time working in different libraries across the city and engaging with people in a really connected, really kind of grassroots, really meaningful way. And so for everything that didn't happen, something else happened.
My part very much involved looking at George Dawson's heritage and his legacy rather to Birmingham, and then Black Lives Matter forced us, and as I said, me in particular, because of that sort of, I suppose, close relationship to Dawson's achievement, to reassess, frankly. So and in some ways that was quite painful, but also necessary.
There was a plan to take an existing statue to him, which is currently in storage with the museum, and to recommission it and put it into a garden here. But he's a white guy, Victorian, very, very progressive in terms of his understanding of class, and pretty good on gender, not so good on race.
George Dawson's vision of everything to everybody. Let's face it, everything isn't for everybody. And in fact, we live in a polarized society where inequality is rife. So we shouldn't really beat around the bush. And this project for me was about confronting the kind of inequality and injustice perhaps that we see in society, in the places where we live. How can the work of Shakespeare and the vision of everything to everybody really explore these modern day issues of multicultural society and the issues that exist?
That extra year, thanks to COVID, and also I think the shake-up that Black Lives Matter and kind of the fact that kind of Nicola and other colleagues really drove home, no, we need to adapt, we need to respond to this, let's kind of redistribute funding, kind of was really important, and also made it possible to actually kind of go, we've got some more time, let's reevaluate who is missing, who isn't in the room currently, who can we reach out to, who can we work to. So we reached out to Lightpost, we worked more closely with Desi Blitz, kind of Iris Burtz has kind of re-angled her research and her project. We kind of made space to work with kind of more refugee and asylum seeker groups through different elements, and just be more conscious about kind of, well, actually, who needs to be in the room to have these conversations.